Okay, so in section 5.4, we're going to look at applications of averages. So we're going to look at why averages are useful or how you can use averages day to day, okay? So for the purposes of this first example, I've already ordered the numbers, so I've already done the most important part, which is order the numbers, just because it's probably really boring to watch me do it. I will go through one more time quickly, calculating the mean, median, and the mode. But the most important part of this section is learning how to pick out which value is most useful. So in some situations, you're going to want to use the mean. In some situations, the mode might be the most useful. And in some situations, the median might be the most useful. Okay, so that's the part that we're really focusing on here in section 5.4. So I've ordered the numbers already, as you can see. So let's quickly calculate here the mean, median, and the mode. So the mean, oops, that's not number one. You know what, we'll just write mean. So the mean is if you total everything up and then you divide, right, by the total number of numbers. So that's a weird end. If I total everything up, I'm going to get 522. Okay, so 522 divided by, there are 17 data points. Okay, so that's going to give me 30.705, so it's going to give me approximately 31. That's our mean. Okay, our median, let's do all caps, since we're doing all caps, our median, we are going to find the middle number. So if there are 17 numbers total, you know that there are going to be 8 on one side, 8 on the other, because 8 plus 8 is 16, and 1 in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 30 is going to be our median, because there's also, and you can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, my pen's a little off here. So our median is going to be 30, and our mode is going to be, we actually have two modes for this. So let's pick a different color here. No, it's not a very nice one. Why don't we use green? I like green. Okay, we'll use green for mode. So we have two numbers that are actually repeated 4 times. So 28 is repeated 4 times, and 30 is repeated 4 times, right? 32 is only 3 times, so we can't use that one. So we're going to actually have two modes here. We're going to have 28 and 30. Now, in this case, they're asking us which is the most useful to the store owner. So if we go back to the question, it's a clothing store that's selling jeans. So if you're selling jeans and you're trying to keep track of what sizes that you sell in the day, having the mean size might be helpful, but it's just telling you the average size. It's not really telling you, if you're a store, you need to know what you need to reorder, okay? So the mean doesn't really help us in this case very much. It gives us an average, but that we can't order an average size of jeans, right? So this isn't going to really help us. The middle size of jeans isn't really going to help us, but the mode is going to help us because the mode tells us which size of jeans you sold the most, okay? And that's useful because you need to order jeans in whole numbers, right? You can't order part of a jean or like 0.705 of a jean. So you need to know which size of jean you sold the most of so you can reorder. So you can reorder for the next time, okay? So the mode is helpful when you're dealing with whole units, like things that you cannot, that decimals aren't going to work for. So you can't have half a jean. You can't have 1/4 jeans, okay? So the mode is the most useful there. In our second example, which is a bookstore that has 15 books in the young adult section. So they're selling books here, and the prices are already ordered for us, which is really, really nice. So it's already been put in order, so I'm not going to do that, okay? So let's find the mean, the median, and the mode. Now, the mean, if we were to total everything up, we are going to get 186.42, and we're going to divide it by the 15 books that we have, and so that's going to be 12.428, and if we round that, we're going to get approximately $12.43. Remember that you're going to match the decimal to how many the question has. Also, if it's money, you can't have 3 decimal spots, right? So match decimal to data, however many your data has, and then make sure you're including units, okay? Because you are looking now at a mean price. All right, now your median is the number that's in the middle. So if I have 15, I know I'm going to have 7 on one side, 7 on the other, and 1 in the middle, right? Because 7 plus 7 is 14, and then that 1 in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and let's just double check that there's 7 on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Okay, so our median is going to be equal to $11.50. And our mode, the most frequently repeated number, is going to be, it looks like the end here, we have $15.99 repeated a couple of times. So this is going to be $15.99. Now, we've got all of those numbers. Which measure best represents the average price of a young adult book? So we're looking for the average price of a young adult book. Well, we'd probably want to pick either the mean or the median, right? Because the mean is $12.43, and they do want the actual average, and the median is $11.50. Just because the mode is $15.99, but that doesn't mean that it's the average price. They don't want the highest price, they want the average price. Okay? And I'm just looking here. So justifying our answer, oops, my goodness, it's a different type of pencil. Justify your answer, well, the mean and the median are both closest to the average. The mode doesn't always tell us the average, okay? So mode is not always, I cannot spell this morning, mode is not always a good representation of average because it's the most frequently repeated number, right? So mode not always a good representation of average. Okay, now they want the range of prices. So the range, we're going to take the highest minus the lowest, right? So we're going to take the highest, which is $16.50, minus the lowest price, which is $8. And our range is going to be $8.50. So there's an $8.50 spread between the highest and the lowest cost of a book at this store. All right. So some rules that you can kind of keep in your head or live by. The mean is going to be the best average when no numbers in the data set are very different from other numbers. So no numbers in the data set are very different. So it means that they're all kind of clustered together. Very different from the other numbers. And that would be like having a small range, okay? So if your range is reasonably small, the mean is going to be the best. The median is a good measure of central tendency to use if there are numbers in the data set that are spread out. So if there are numbers that are very different from each other, the median is going to give you the best kind of average. Well, not technical average, but the best measure of central tendency. So this is when you have a big range. And the mode is going to be the best average to use when the data represents discrete measures. So discrete, oops, didn't change my pen back. Discrete measures. Okay, so discrete measures are things like shoe sizes, although you can have half shoe sizes, but clothing sizes, things that you can only have wholes of. Okay, so there's only whole, no parts, or if there are parts, they're like half at most. There's no decimals. Okay. All right, that's all there is for 5.4.